Hello, welcome back. Right, this is a game I've had my eye on for a few days. It's a version of the Atari 2600 game released in 1982 of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I'm not familiar with many Atari 2600 games. Didn't have one back in the day. I've played on them fleetingly, usually in stores as a kid. This version is brought to us by Luca Bordoni. Thanks ever so much, and the download link will be provided in the description box below. So I'm very, very interested in those of you that do know the Atari 2600 original, how well this stacks up against it. Now, there are several options available to you when you download this game. You get an awful lot, including an instruction manual, which has a player's guide on how to complete the game, so steer clear of that if you want to sort of experiment with it yourself. There's also inlay artwork, etc, etc, and there's also various different versions of the games with various control options. Now, I've selected the version that has QAOP for up, down, left and right, space for fire, and 1 to select the various items. Now, there's been Indiana Jones games on the Spectrum before, Temple of Doom arcade conversion, The Last Crusade arcade and adventure games, and I'm not sure if there are any others. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan anyway. I mean, I loved Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and everyone else hates that. But here we have the game itself. So I'm in the marketplace area. You can see along the bottom are various icons: a shovel, bag of coins, Indy's whip, a gun, grenade, parachutes. You have to go around through the various locations collecting the Staff of Ra, etc., to go to the Well of Souls and find the location of the Ark of the Covenant. Now, I've really enjoyed playing this game. Like I said, I don't know many Atari 2600 games, and the graphical style, I can say, mirrors the Atari 600, as anyone can sort of see there. And it's really quite a nice little adventure game. I really enjoyed the time I spent with it. I did have to use the solutions that were provided by Luca, unfortunately. This isn't a complete playthrough though, because even with an idiot's guide, I still managed to cock 1 or 2 bits and pieces of the game up. But really great fun, and it goes back to what I've said previously on videos of games that are still being produced for the Spectrum. It's absolutely fantastic that, you know, we're still getting all these games. You know, hats off to Luca. This is clearly a project that he's put an awful lot of time and effort into. It's created with the Jonathan Caldwell's arcade game designer utility, and he was assisted by Paul Dunn to put all the various tap files, etc. together. And of course it is based on the original 1982 game produced by Howard Warshaw. Now, I really go back to what I've said before. We have to make sure that, you know, where a game is good, a new game, etc., that we keep on encouraging people to continue what they're doing. Luca, I don't know if you've produced any games before. If you have, that's incredibly ignorant of me. Please send them, point me in the right direction where I can try some of them. Now, the game follows the plot of the film quite well. You've got to find the Well of Souls, you've got to find the head of the staff, you've got to find the map room, etc., all of which you just, in fact, here is the map room. Now, the graphics themselves aren't meant to be overly spectacular, because it's you know, it's a straightforward conversion of an Atari game. But in doing that, they look really great. They really do the job. And I've had this discussion with people before, particularly about modern gaming, in that, you know, back in the days when we were playing games, the early 80s and mid 90s, graphics weren't very good, so you had to use your imagination an awful lot and allow the sort of story of the game to sort of unfold, and you had to like fill the bits in with your imagination. And that's what this game does really well. It allows you to think that you're actually Indiana Jones. You've got the whip to use, you've got snakes to avoid, you've got well, you got the Ark to find. I tell you, I couldn't find the bloody thing, even with an instruction sheet. So Really, really, really good. Sound-wise, there isn't an awful lot. There's a rendition of the opening bars of the Raiders of the Lost Ark theme tune. Now, going back to the icons along the bottom, pressing 1 will select whichever particular one that you want, that you need at the time. So whether or not it be the gun, the whip, the parachute, etc., which is that kind of square with a cross in it. If you choose the Ankh at the very end, that will transport you straight away to the Mesa field, whatever that is. That bit basically. You can see I zoomed right through there as I didn't have the parachute equipped, and here I am. I've just died. But you, so that would save you having to go back through all the rooms, etc. But you lose the parachute, and you would have to find enough coins to basically repurchase the parachute from one of the traders in the marketplace, which is that second game. So, sorry, that second screen in the game. So it's one more playthrough. I've said all I really need to say about the game. The description, sorry, the download link is in the description box below. Well done, Luca. I'm sure this is going to poke many people's nostalgia glands, especially people who know the original game from the Atari 2600 days. And for those of you who don't, like me, it's still a really, really great little project, and it is good fun to play. So, thanks ever so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. If you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe to the channel, please do so. But as I always say, if you do subscribe, please, please, please take the time to join in the conversations and discussions. I'm particularly interested to hear what you make of this conversion of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And particularly if you know the original game, as I've already said, how it stacks up against that, because I don't know that game at all. I've not looked it up on YouTube, etc. I've just gone into this game blind. Okay, thanks ever so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.